jumped right on. I was not ready
We
for that, but glad to be here. Happy to be here. Season 2, episode 18. Go for it, Miller.
There we go. Before we get too started, I am going to read our handy dandy disclaimer. Welcome back to the Rachel and Mr. Miller podcast, where we cover real estate, real life, the occasional topic that might raise an eyebrow. We are licensed residential and commercial real estate professionals. However, this podcast is for entertainment and general information purposes only. Nothing you hear should be taken as legal, financial, or other professional advice. And listening does not create a client advisory relationship of any kind. These are our opinions, our experiences, our conversations. Enjoy them and enjoy them responsibly like you would an adult beverage. So with that, I'm going to move this screen out of my way so I can see everybody. There we go. So Rachel, I will have you introduce our guest today.
Sure, we have Ellen Michaels here, and Ellen and I met via Facebook in the Ventura County Business Women's Facebook group. I joined this network about 2 months ago, and it offers a plethora of references and referrals. And I think we've had other guests on that I've connected with through this same group. So I put a shout out. We were looking for somebody to talk about notary work or notary public work. And Ellen was one of the first to say, hey, me, I want to do it. So thank you, Ellen, for your time. We do have an abbreviated show today because both Mr. Miller and I have a whole bunch of real estate stuff going on right now, which is not a bad thing, but stuff we have to tend to. So we're going to do 20 minutes versus 30, and we're looking forward to packing in a bunch of information in this short time. Thank you, Ellen, for joining us. How are you today?
Awesome. Stoked. I am so jazzed.
Great. Why don't you give us a 2-minute snapshot of who you are, how you got into notary, and what your life is now as a notary.
Okay, so first of all, I am a baby boomer. My college degree is in journalism with a minor in political science. I am a former newspaper reporter at the old LA Herald Examiner. I also had another business. I used to make traditional American quilts for a living. From there, I worked temp, worked at Countrywide. That's how I found out about notary public work. Took the class, took the exam, and here I am 22 years later as a notary public / certified loan signing agent.
Now, Ellen,
Perfect. I'm sorry, Miller, go ahead.
when it comes to notary, are there different kinds of notaries? You said like a loan signing agent. So are there different types?
So a notary can notarize deeds, like deeds of trust, quitclaim deeds. That's fine. But to handle loan packages, okay, they have to take a class to become a certified loan signing agent. It's a preferred requirement here in California and in other states. You know, in some other states, the real estate transactions have to be done by an attorney. A notary is not allowed. It depends on this. It depends on what the state requirements are.
What is something about being a notary that most people wouldn't realize or guess? That what are some secrets about being a notary that people don't realize?
Well, I think basically the job, most people think all they have to do is wave their ID, and I watch them sign a document, and then they sign my notary journal. And usually when it comes to the journal, the first thing they do is they hold up their thumb, and I go, yes, we're going to do thumbprints. That comes with their signature first, then the thumbprint. But they don't realize we're the fraud busters. If the loan package, not only loan packages, even for general notary work, if the documents are not handled properly, the documents can be rejected, and it doesn't, and that could put a real big legal monkey wrench into what needs to be done. Doesn't matter whether it's real estate documents, whether it's a estate planning package, power of attorney, advanced health care directive. It just, we've got to be on our toes to make sure we dot our I's, cross our T's, no, don't leave any legal, any blank spaces.
I just read this morning that notaries have been around since 1639.
Wow.
Earlier, actually earlier. A little bit of notary trivia. Christopher Columbus had at least one, maybe a couple notaries when he came over on the 3 ships. Grover Cleveland, when he became president, his father did the administration of oath, and his father was a notary. The last person to sign the Declaration of Independence was a notary.
Was there a notary stamp on the Declaration of Independence? That's not a trick question. I don't know the answer.
Back then, I don't know what they did as far as notary stamps. Good question. Good question.
And just another head scratcher. I wonder what made them have the forethought to have this type of official recognition of documents.
Honest
It's a head scratcher. How did they know?
It is a head scratcher, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to answer that question.
I wouldn't think. Yeah, I think it's just kind of like a interesting thought to put out there.
Yeah.
For sure.
The only reason why
Last week we had. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. The only reason why I know is because I go on to Google and look for notary trivia and put it in my Facebook blurbs or on my Google business.
Sure. What would we do without Google?
Google
is our encyclopedia source.
Right. But remember, before Google, it was go to the library, or you had a book of encyclopedias.
That's right. That's right. But the information changes so fast. But by the time you found that book, it's so outdated.
It's outdated.
So last week we had Donnie LeQuy on, who is he works in the Ventura County Recording Office in the title. Help me, Miller. I forgot what his exact. He was talking about title fraud.
Right.
He was in the recorder's office. So we had a really great talk about title fraud, and you, Ellen, when we got started, mentioned how having documents notarized helps protect against fraud. How can we bridge these two ideas with title fraud and notary?
Well, I think the key factor here would be properly identifying the signers. Obviously, you have to have California state law, all states. Bottom line, you have to show a current government issue photo ID.
Have you ever
How
run
does
into?
that work in California?
So in California, what that would be your driver's license. If you didn't drive, a state ID card, a U.S. passport.
What about issued by another country? Like I'm gonna forget. I can't remember the word.
Okay.
Mexican matricula.
I know what you're. Okay, so for the state of California will accept a driver's license from Mexico. They will accept a driver's license from Canada. That part is no problem. If the signer has a Mexican or Canadian passport, it is accepted.
Have you run into fraudulent IDs, and what would you do in that situation?
I haven't run into fraudulent, thank God, I have not run into fraudulent IDs. but I have had people presented their Costco card to use as a state ID, and I said, I'm very sorry. I've had people present their driver's license via their cell phone. I said, I'm sorry, I have to physically see, I have to literally hold the ID. So
especially
if
in this day and age of AI, could easily be manipulated.
Absolutely. And the other thing is that when I am holding their ID, I run my finger over to make sure that it feels a little bumpy. If it feels too smooth, who knows?
Right. What's the
What are some
weirdest?
other telltale signs that the ID is fake? Sorry, Miller.
Go ahead.
Thank God. Well, to be honest, thank God I've never run into a fake ID. I haven't.
Okay.
We love that. Yes.
I'm very happy.
That's good. That's good news in all of the 20 plus years.
But I'll tell you the one thing I had at this honest to be true story. I actually had a signer. She was a retired school teacher. She presented me with 8 California driver's licenses. They were all expired. She could not understand for the life of her why I couldn't accept them.
Wow. What's the most unusual place you've ever done a notary signing at?
Obviously, I've done them because of COVID. Garages, on the hood of the front of my car, on the hood of the trunk of my car, gone to a construction site, and on the flatbed of the truck. My largest loan signing, because I walk with a cane, the client did not want me hiking up all the stairs. She sat in the back seat of my Toyota. I was in the front. We used my notary journal as a table, passed the documents back and forth. And 90 minutes later, that was a 2-property B of A refi, split signing. The other signer was in Florida. That was my largest signing, 19 billion.
Ellen, do you get a lot of calls for, I'm going to say, will notary? And I ask that is about, what was that, probably 5 years ago, my stepfather, was going in for quadruple bypass, or it was 8-way bypass. And they said he has a 10% chance of making it. They literally did the notary as he was being wheeled into the operating room. And
Okay.
do you get a lot of calls for like notary of wills and things like that?
So with wills are not notarized. Wills are not notarized. You need 2 witnesses for a will. Now with the Advanced Healthcare Directive, you have a choice. You could either have it notarized, or you could have 2 witnesses. You know, you can't put both together.
Can people notarize anything they want though? Like I said, I had the will notarized, although it may not be required. But people can have anything they want notarized, right?
You know what? It really depends on the state law. It depends on what they want notarized. If you had, let's say you had an autographed baseball card from Babe Ruth. Hi, I want this notarized. Well, I can't notarize Babe Ruth's signature. Okay, that's not going to happen. But you could write a statement and say, this is a genuine Babe Ruth baseball card that he signed on such whatever. Then you would sign your name. The statement I can notarize.
Who's the governing body for a notary? I just thought about that.
Okay, that would be the California Secretary of State's office.
Okay.
They govern.
And what does it mean when something is notarized? What does that do to the document?
Well, good question. Basically, in my own opinion, it would mean this is a legal document. You went through the proper procedure to get the document handled, you identified the signer. You know, they showed you their ID. It is logged. In California, requires us to have a notary journal. There are some states that don't require a notary journal. My recommendation, regardless of which state you're a notary in, that notary journal could come in very, very handy. I have had attorneys and the people, general public, request, hi, on such and such day, you notarized a document. They gave the person's name, what it was, and they were requesting copies of my notary journal.
In California,
So
do people
basically, it identifies. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
in,
Sorry, Miller. Go ahead.
in California, do people have to be present for a notary, or can they be virtual?
Okay, glad you brought that up because of RON, Remote Online Notary. California is one of 10 states that does not allow RON at the moment. California will allow RON starting in 2030. I have friends in other states that do RON. I am very hesitant about RON. I mean, it's my own personal feelings.
Right, right.
It's my own personal feelings. In California, yes, the person needs to be present. In other words, there is a form called subscribing witness, where, let's say, Rachel, you were Mr. Miller's secretary, and he had to run out of town, and he signed a document and he wanted to get it notarized, and you took it to a local notary. Then you would have to take an oath that I saw Mr. Miller sign this document, and then that would be logged in their notary journal. Nobody has ever asked me to do that. And personally, because of the fraud issue, I would be, me personally, it's me, not anybody else. I'm very hesitant to do a document concerning a subscribing witness.
I would tend to agree with you.
How do I know you actually signed it? She could have scribbled your name.
Right. Absolutely.
You know?
Rachel, I cut you off earlier. Go ahead.
That's okay. In the last few minutes that we have, Ellen, could you talk about some of the things in specifically to real estate? So a buyer or a seller, is there anything that buyers or sellers accidentally do that can slow down their notary process?
To me, one of the things that might slow it down, banks, lenders are very picky, fussy about the dates. You need to make your numbers legible. I actually had a case where the client made the European 4, which is always mistaken for the number 9. I had Post-its through the whole package. She makes the European 4. Her package was rejected. She had to do the whole process all
Rejected.
over again. And my heart went out to this poor lady.
Okay, there we go.
Wow.
Sorry, I lost a connection and I wasn't sure if it was me or somebody else. But that's very interesting to know. So legibility is like the top thing.
Absolutely.
Clear and concise.
Yes. Okay. Another example. They always give notary instructions. We want the client to sign their name exactly the way it's listed on the document. I show that to the client, and I have lost track of the number of times I have heard, but that's not my signature. And I said, do they have your driver's license on file? Yes, they do. Okay. And I go, I'm not going to sign their name and commit fraud. Absolutely not. If they want to sign their name the way their signature is, more power to it. And I keep my fingers crossed that the lender will not reject it.
So
Um,
interesting.
and
So when we're doing an agreement, we should probably say, how do you typically sign your signature? Is it uh, Stephen A. Smith or Steve A. Smith or Steve Smith? And that's how it should be put on the RPA, residential purchase agreement or residential listing agreement.
Yes. We run into
Interesting.
that sometimes because Mark is short for Marcos. This is my husband's name. And sometimes he goes by Mark and sometimes he goes by Marcos. And not really a notary issue, but one of the first times I booked travel out of the country, I booked him on the plane as Mark. And he came in with his passport as Marcos, and they wouldn't let us. They even with the picture, they were not convinced that Mark was Marcos.
oh,
So, it's being very true to how you use your name legally.
it could be, people don't realize it could be rejected for any number of reasons. Maybe on the documents, it shows your first name, middle initial, last name. And
Right.
but his ID only shows first name, last name. Um,
Right.
I mean, there's so many different instances. Let's say the documents show first name, last name, Junior, but on the ID, it doesn't show Junior. How could it?
So
how,
Ellen, is your suggestion to if always stay with how your name is represented on your ID? Don't veer away from how it is on your ID.
I don't know how the client took title to the property. I don't know how that. I really personally do not know how they took title. So, and I'm not trying to be a dummy. It's just I wasn't in the process. What I do see happening now in a lot of cases for seller your purchase packages, buyer packages, they are asking for a photocopy of the signer's ID.
Wow. So I just thought about this. When when you're doing a notary and someone puts Alex Smith instead of Alan Smith, can they go back and correct that with the notary there, or is the documents have to be redone completely?
Um, Me personally, if they don't sign their name the way it says on the signature line, uh, I mean, the name on the signature line needs to match the name on the ID. What I have seen sometimes, maybe the person took title, when they took title, they didn't include their middle name. Well, it, it, it depends on the lender. It depends. If I see discrepancies, I will call the signing company or title and go, okay, this is what I've noticed. Then I will also note in my notary journal, same thing.
So,
Name on the ID is such and such, name on the documents is such and such. Only because what if somebody says, and there's a dispute or something, and they want to see my notary journal, I have to have notes to back it up.
interesting.
Could see how
Awesome.
that could really slow things down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ellen, I hate to cut this short, but one of us who's up in my upper left-hand corner of my screen, whose name starts with an R.
Is that where I am?
Yes, you are in the
I'm
upper
not here.
left-hand.
I understand. You guys mentioned it to me. You were keeping it short. I understand. I'm not hurt. I'm very happy for the opportunity to meet with you and your clients.
Awesome.
Well, you
Ellen,
really know your stuff, Ellen. How can people get a hold of you so that they can take advantage of your expertise?
Okay, so basically, very easy. I am on Facebook. You can go to Google and put in Ellen Michaels Notary Public, Ellen Michaels Mobile Notary Public. I am based in Chatsworth, so if in the search bar, if you want to put notaries in Chatsworth, California, my name will come up. you could go on to the Google Maps website under search. Again, notaries, mobile notaries in Chatsworth, and that's how I would come up.
Ellen, are
Great.
you okay? How would you? What's your phone number if someone wants to just call you direct?
Okay, they want to call me direct. My cell is 818 area code 425-1126. I service the San Fernando Valley, this side of the hill for LA County. I go up to Ventura County as well.
Awesome. Very well. Well, Ellen, I really appreciate your time today.
It's awesome.
And very well. I thank you. And actually, before we go, Rachel, how do people get a hold of you before you go race away from us?
Phone number is 805-813-0664. You can email me at rachel@gratishomes.com. My website is rachelmoreno.gratishomes.com. Mr. Miller, how can people find you?
Smoke signals, or they can reach me. They can reach me at 760-264-3501 or homeswithscottkmiller.com. Homeswithscottkmiller.com. With that, we will see, or we won't see you, but you'll see us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And with that, again, Ellen, thank you so much for your time today. And I will go ahead and hang up, and I will talk to everybody very soon. Thanks again, Ellen. We appreciate you.
Great.
Thank you, Ellen.
I had a blast. Thank you.